Hi, I'm Dan and welcome to episode 61 of the Elements Dev Diary. Now, yesterday we introduced a new component, that was the accordion component, and it's super flexible. Feedback so far has been very good. You guys seem to like it and don't have any requests for it. Now, as I said, that'll be going out in a beta later this week. And today we've got another new component to show you. Now, I did say over the coming weeks we've got a lot of stuff to get through. So that's why we're doing these extra videos. And today I'm going to show you another new component that we'll be shipping later this week. So I've got my, let's wait for that to load. I've got my accordion here, and this is really great. Now you can imagine on an actual live site, you might have a lot more questions than this. So there might be a lot of text, and that's a lot for your user to find if they're looking for a question. So it'd be nice to be able to filter this down. So, and that's what we've done. We've got a new component here called filter. And what I can do, I can just drop this into the same container here as the accordions. Let me just pull this out, the node browser, so we can see what's going on. I've got a container, which is the wrap around here. Then I've got my text. I've dropped in my filter, and I've got my accordions. So how do we get this to work? Well, the magic here is that this just works. There's zero setup, there's not a database, don't need to configure anything. I'm just drop it in and I'm good to go. So I've popped my filter there, and if I just start typing, boom, it filters it out, just like that. So, and this is looking at all the text in each of those accordions. So it's searching for the subtext as well. This is just a really nice little extra that you can add to your website, especially if you've got a Q&A. And it just works just like that. So there's a nice filtering out animation there to hide the other options. And if I scroll down the page, I've got some more set up here. Now this one is to show you just how you can easily style the filter. You know, you get all the controls you're used to. They're all set up the same. There's a few extra bits because for the specific control, but you've got the borders, the backgrounds, the spacing, things like that you're used to with all the other controls. So it's really easy to style this because you know how it works already. So this is quite nice. Just a nice little curved Mac style filter there. And then if we come down here on this one, this is looking very nice as well. But when I search on this one, instead of filtering down, it dims out the other accordions that aren't as relevant. So let me just search. So there you can see as I type, it just fades out the rest, which is really nice. I mean, this is incredible stuff. I've not seen anything else that is this easy to use that just works like this. And we've made these filters really flexible. So you know, you can style them how you want, and they work with these accordions. But when we were building this, and this has kind of been our ethos from the start, really, when we've been doing these, we really wanted to build the components to make them really flexible, which does mean they're a little bit more complex. But we're going to overcome that with pre-built templates, which you'll see later when we finish those. But these are really flexible. So what we've done is we've made these filters not apply just to accordions, so you can use them in other areas of your site. So these filters will work on accordions, and they'll work on containers, grids, and flexboxes. So if I come down to this next section here, I have just some blocks of text, and each one of these text areas is wrapped in a container. Let's go to the, let's just scroll down to the, where I have the setup. So here we are. So you can see I've got a container and the text box there. So container, so each part is wrapped in that container, and that's so my filter knows what section to show. So let's go back to here, and if I just start typing in here, if I just start typing weather, there we go. it filters out the rest and just shows me the relevant items. Now, you might not want to use it on something like this, but this really is to show you the flexibility. And as I was typing here, you might have noticed the next section further down, which I've designed as well. And these sections I've designed are really just to start giving you some ideas, to start thinking about what you might be able to use it for. So if we come down, I've set up this nice little grid of movies. Now these are just containers with an image and then some text underneath each one. And I'm just using the transform effect here just to give them a nice rollover. Again, this is stuff, once you know how to use elements, this stuff is so easy to do. It's so incredible. And of course, the filter works on here as well. So if I just start typing, you can see they just start to fade out and show me the ones I'm interested in. And if I just start typing a date, we'll start with 20. We'll type 1, and you can see they start to fade out just as I type those numbers. It's really, really nice. And of course they're disabled, and these ones highlighted, really nice. 2025, there we go. That's the only one. 2024, there we are. So, and I can cancel that. So this, you know, the possibilities are endless here. Once you realize that these filters can filter anything on your site, really powerful. And you don't need a database, you don't need to set that stuff up. It just works in page in a static site. So really cool. And now I've got one more example here. Now this is a table, but it's made up of a grid. So I've got each row here is a grid with 3 grid items in it. But this top header, that's also a grid, but I've told it, I've given it, it's not part of the group ID of this filter. So only these rows will be filtered. This top row here will be ignored and won't filter away because you want to see it all the time. So this is a great example which would be useful on a smaller business site. You know, if you've got a timetable on there, really easy to set this up. So I could find out what classes are in the gym, and you could see it just filters it down. Or I could see, have they got any yoga classes? Yep, they have. Really nice. You know, if I had a really long list, I could see what's happening on Wednesday. See what's in the studio. This is really nice, the way this just compacts down and filters out. You know, I didn't have to write any code for this. This is all drag and drop, all really easy to set up, really flexible. So I hope this is giving you some ideas of what you can use these for. It's really not just for the accordions. We can do anything with it. And I'll show you now how to set this up. Really straightforward stuff. So let's go back to our document. I'll scroll to the top here. And what we'll do is let's copy and paste this. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm just going to delete, let's delete these accordions. So we've got nothing in the page. Okay, so now we've just got this header area here. Let's just change the background a little bit so we can see what we're working with. And let's increase the spacing here. Right, so we've just got a header and we need to drop in some more text. So let's, or we could drop in an accordion. I could show you how it's set up with an accordion. Let's drop in an accordion there. Oh, we're going to need some text in there. I'm going to borrow that text. Let's borrow this. So I've got my accordion here, and well, we're going to need a few of these. We're going to need a few accordions. So I've got 2 accordions, and let's nab some other text from down here. We don't want that. Let's just check. Right. Right, so we've got our 2 accordions. And you can see this new filter group here. And this will tell you what the what group the filtering belongs to. and by default it's set up to parents, and that means if I've got a filter in here, it will just filter everything within the container. So let's get a filter, and like I showed you before, I just drop this in here and it just works. So let's go and preview. So membership, there we are. So just like that, it just works. But what you can do if you need, if we want to have, let's just get a container. For example, say if I had another container up here and I wanted my filter inside this container. Now when I preview the site, this is not going to work. When I start typing in there, nothing gets filtered. And the reason nothing gets filtered is because my filter here is set to filter everything in the parent group. And this container is the parent and there's nothing else in there. So that's not going to work. That's why when I put the filter in here, it filters the contents. So what we want to do, we're going to need to give, if we want this setup, if I want this filter in a different container, what we're going to need to do is set up a custom filter group. Now, we've got unique group ID. That's kind of a little hint to say you want to make these unique in case you have multiple filters on the page. So this one will be demo filter. We'll just call the group ID demo filter. And now what I need to do, everything that I want to be filtered, I need to give it this ID. So we'll come down to our accordion, we'll go to custom, and I'm going to give it the demo filter. And again, the same on here, I'm going to give it the demo filter. Now you can ignore these tags. We've while this works, we're still expanding on that, and there's more to come on that. So I'm not going to get into tags yet. That when we finish the feature, while it works now, we want to expand on it. There's some different UI going in there, but I'll show you that later in a later video. But yeah, so what we've done, we've given 2 custom group IDs there. And on the filter, we've got the collapse animation, or we can pick fade. Going to have a few more options in there. Those are coming as well very soon. So let's go and view this. And now our filter is back working again. And the nice thing here is we can, if I put in another container, I can give this the same ID. And then if I put the text in here, it will now filter this text because things in this container also have that same group ID. So now when I search in here, it's going to dim this because it's not, it doesn't match our search, or show it like that. Let's just duplicate this again. This is a demo. I'm just doing this just to show you how this works. Let's duplicate this again. Okay, so you can see these text boxes that are in a container, and again, group ID demo filter. Now, let's just quickly test this so you can see this all working. So demo, fun. You can see the rest fade out. So now I've got a mixture of content here. I've got accordions as well as some containers, and everything's being filtered by this. You could do this over your whole page. I'm not sure you'd want to, but you could. Might be some fun stuff you could do there. So if I go to this container and we just, I can change this filter, or we could just switch it back to parent or turn filtering off. This will not be filtered out now. It's always going to appear there. So, whoops. You can see this always stays active and visible because it doesn't belong to this filtering group. So that's how flexible this is, that you can really set up what you want. And that is, you know, this example here, you can see each of these are in a container. And when I come down to my films, you can see I had each film is in a container, and it has a little movie group ID. So, and again on the filter box there, it's set up to filter that movie group ID. So yeah, so it is really easy to set up, because if I drop in a new filter here, this is not going to work, because these have all got an ID of movie group. So so you can see nothing happens there. So all I need to do to get this to work, I just need this movie group ID, and on my filter I switch it to custom and I say movie group ID. So let's go and view that now. There you go, and now it works. So that's an important step to remember, that if your filter isn't in the same parent group, then you're going to need to give it a group ID. But this makes it really flexible, meaning you can have multiple filters on your page and they can filter different things. Yeah, so this is absolutely wild and easy to use, and I've not seen any other apps do this so nicely. It's all static, no database, really fun to work with, and I've only built these examples this week, so it's really just scratching the surface of what you're going to be able to do. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video and yesterday, we've got a lot of stuff to get through. We've got more new stuff to show you, but that's it for today. Look out for the beta later in the week, which will contain these components. And yeah, I'll have more stuff to show you very, very soon. All right, thanks for watching this one, and I will see you in the next. Cheers, bye.